first thing we're going to do is make a new document. So File, New, and it's on pixels. We want that to be on inches, and we're going to make it 8 by 10. So now that's saying that I want my picture to be portrait, but I actually want my picture to be landscape. So I could just click on this and it just flips the numbers for me. And if I click back, it will flip them back. So decide what you want to do. Then you're going to hit create. Then we're going to open up the picture that we took. And the first thing that we're going to do is you want to do filter, camera raw filter, and we're going to do basic edits. So there's a little yellow tint to this. So I'm going to take the yellow and I'm going to drag it out a little bit. Then I'm going to take my blacks and I'm going to darken those up a little bit. And I'm going to take my white and then do clarity just a little bit and then hit OK. So if I go in my history and I go back up, there's what it was before and there it is afterwards. Okay. Now go to my layers and I'm going to duplicate my layer by hitting Command J. Duplicates it. And I'm just going to leave my background one for backup. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to keep the duck in color and change everything else to black and white. Now, just a refresher, you have your selection tools that are here. Here's all your lassos. Okay, you got your quick selection and your magic wand, and then you have your shapes that you can select with. And just a real quick reminder, like let's say I do just the rectangular. Up here, you have, if you hover over it, it will tell you that you can add to your selection, you can subtract from your selection, and this one will just take the selection away. So if I click over here and make another one, oh, whoops. If I click this and draw, it will go away. When I'm on add, I go like this, it adds to it, and then if I'm on subtract, it will take it away. And then Command D to deselect. Now for this assignment, I would suggest that you use the magnetic lasso tool. So I'm going to get right in there, going right around the duck. I'm just dragging my mouse around the duck. I'm going to click. If you notice that the magnetic lasso, the computer really isn't seeing the line, you can always click and help it. This is blurred out in the back, but that is part of the duck's tail. And then remember, to end your selection, you need to have a little circle to the right of your lasso tool. When you see that circle, that means you can click and you'll have the marching ants and they'll select. Now you can zoom in and say, okay, I'd want to fix this right here. So this is when you would use your regular lasso tool. And I want to add to that. So I want to be on the add. Okay. So I see I got the little plus. I can just click and then go like that. And the same thing here. And then if you hold the space bar down, it turns into the hand and you can move around. And let's just say I want to smooth this selection part out a little bit right there. Okay, let's say I want to take that away. I could click up here to the minus, or I could just hold down on the Alt Option key and that will turn it into minus. Okay, and I could take that away right there. Okay, I'm not saying I really need to do that, but I just want you to see the minus. So I could fix that and just go back and add that in. Okay, so then I'm going to hit Command 0, and that fits on screen, your photo on screen. And then I'm going to do Command C to copy, and then Command V to paste. And then if I take this eye off and this eye off, I have just the duck remaining. So then I can put these back on. I'm going to take the duck eye off and I'm going to click on layer 1. Then I'm going to go up to image, adjustments, and I'm going to go to hue and saturation. I'm going to slide this over here and I'm going to take the saturation and I'm going to go all the way down. And then I'm going to hit OK. You could then also go image adjustments and you could do brightness and contrast. And you can maybe brighten it up a little bit, or you can add some contrast if you wanted to. Remember, if you go too much, then things get blown out of proportion and you can't see them, like blown out like here where you can't see the edge of the baby's face. So I'm actually just going to cancel that, but I want you to know that you could do that. So I'm going to cancel that out. And then if I turn the eye back on the duck, there it is. Now, it looks a little choppy, so we are going to step back in history. So I'm just going to step back one step right here where it's selected. And then I'm going to go, make sure I'm on the right layer. I'm going to go to select and mask right here. And here is where we can smooth out our selection. So we'll do it at 100%. And then feather goes a long way. So I just want to feather it a little bit. And then I'm going to hit OK. So now I'm going to do Command C to copy it and then Command V to paste it. And I'll take the eye off of this and this one. And I'm going to go back to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. Take the saturation out, hit OK, and then turn the duck layer back on. And that will fade and feather this out a little bit. And there's looking like my selection didn't go, you can kind of see like the duck a little bit behind there. So you see what I'm talking about, like the dark right there. So what I could do is take that off, and then I can just go to my stamp tool, and I'm using the bracket keys to make it bigger. I also want to make sure that my hardness is at 0%. Then I'm going to come back over here, hold the Alt, and then I'm going to click. And I'm just covering up that little bit of the edge of the duck. And remember, I'm working on this layer. I still haven't touched my background layer. Keeping that as a backup, just in case. So then if I turn this back on, do you see how that line has disappeared? So if I go to here, no. I was hoping that I could click back and forth so you could see it, but you can still see the line right here. Okay, so I would go back and I would be on my background layer, my gray layer here, and I would stamp some of that out. And then when I turn the duck back on, you can see it right here, but you can't see it right here. And let's finish it. Make my brush size a little smaller using the bracket keys again. So that just makes it look a little bit more realistic. And that's it.